Hi, everybody. Welcome to What You Need to Know. I am Sybil Wilkes. It is Tuesday evening, and there is a lot going on. And just as we were concluding our news day in our production meeting, came word that Tiger Woods in a serious automobile accident this morning in Southern California. And that just kind of put our newsletter in a different direction, and as well as interesting discussions about Tiger and what role this story plays, what role he plays in our lives, and discussions like that many of us have had over the years. Tiger Woods, of course, has changed, as we said in the newsletter, he changed the face and the color of golf. He was not the first Black golfer, but certainly the first Black superstar golfer that this world, and at this point only, that we have ever known. We do have Charlie Sifford and other great Lee Elder and those others who have played a part in the history of golf as Black men, but no one like Tiger Woods, obviously. And he changed. Not only did he change the face and the color of this game, but he changed he changed the way courses are made to make it more difficult for gifted players like Tiger to win, or more challenging. And also he's changed the direction and the content of our conversations as well. So as we wait for D'Anthony Brown, I'm just curious to hear from you how you're feeling about this Tiger story, and are we giving it too much? I made the editorial decision that we did need to put this in our newsletter, but I'm curious about other people, because there was a lot of conversation about, first of all, do people care about this, and whether you're a sports lover or whether you're not a Tiger fan, Tiger the man, Tiger the athlete. A lot goes into this decision, but definitely this was a big one, and a lot of, as you may have heard or seen this afternoon, a lot of the news stations going wall to wall on the Tiger Woods story. Eldrick Tiger Woods, injured in this automobile accident. He was the only person in the car, he did not run into another car, or another car did not run into him. It was a single vehicle situation in near Rancho Palos Verdes, I believe. And it was early in the morning. It was 7 o'clock in the morning on a dangerous strip of road. And luckily, some people were on their balcony on a bluff. And luckily, they saw it happen, and they immediately called police. And so that's the police were able to get to him in record time. There were stories about how serious are his injuries, and the latest reports are that he broke both legs. He had breaks in both legs, and this was as he was recovering from still another back surgery, 5 back surgeries, and then of course there was the spinal fusion that he had a few years back as well. So he has never had an easy road. And once he reached a certain stage of his career and age, in which he has had a lot of physical challenges. But the really interesting thing is you hear golf fans, and especially those professionals, the journalists who have followed his career over the last 20 years or more, saying that don't count him out yet. As a matter of fact, they made note of the fact that he won, was it a Masters, or he won a major tournament with a broken leg. So this may not be the end of Tiger Woods at all, but we do wish him a complete recovery, and also ask him to slow down. But one of the other things that came out of this was the fact that, and did anybody see the press conference? Because it was an interesting dynamic between the number of officials, emergency officials, who were talking and giving answers to this. But there was one young man who was the first responding officer, policeman, and he was dynamic in giving his account of what he found and how this went, including that Tiger was not unconscious. He was fully conscious, was able to tell him his name, and keep him talking as they awaited help to get him out of the car. No jaws of life. He was pulled out by emergency officials, but This is going to be very interesting. And like I said, I'm just curious how people are responding to all of this. So get well wishes to you, Tiger. And if you all have any comments, I'd love to hear from you about your thoughts about Tiger and what role this plays in your news day. Are you already done with the conversation? I am not. And so let's see what we have here. Hello. Uh-oh. Can you hear me? J. Anthony Brown? Okay, he's getting adjusted. I know he was on the road, so we'll hopefully get some information and we'll get our conversation started with him. But nobody wants to talk about Tiger? Okay, all right. It's just me. So let's say Tiger out of the newsletter. No, I'm kidding. But it is a day of a lot of news going on, and so but it's starting to slow down politically. Although we still have a lot of confirmation hearings and what have you amongst members of the nominees for the Biden camp. But we'll talk about what happened. Hey Jay.
Hey Sybil, what's up?
What's new?
Well, Tiger Woods in the hearing today. I was watching that all day long.
So, like I said, Jay and I had conversations earlier in the day. I mean, early too, for most of us, in talking about the joint committee hearing that involved the high-ranking security officials in the January 6th.
I thought it was so funny to see that black guy with all those stars on his shoulder. I never knew you could get that much ranking as a police. I had no idea.
I'm not mad at the brother. I think his name is Conti.
Yes, he had about 16 stars on his shoulder. I'm like,
stars and bars.
Go ahead on, brother.
Oh, come on. He is the new police chief.
Yes.
Of Washington D.C. of the D.C. Police Department. So I'm not mad at him.
Yes.
And that did happen today. And they talked about how did this happen? Where was the communication failure? As well as how prepared these people were, and in getting there, that's what Son said. He said they came for war. They came prepared for war.
But Son said he don't remember getting a call. Okay, right. If you don't remember you getting a call, I'll let that go. Didn't somebody tell you? Didn't you see the news? Didn't you see what was happening in DC? I mean, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock when the National Guard was sent in. You had to know that.
Well, he was, and he said, as well as the woman who took his place, Captain Pitt. Is it Pitt or Pittman? It's
Pittman or something like that.
Yeah. She said that they were sending out the call for them. They called for them a couple of days in advance, a day in advance, and then just like hour after hour until the National Guard finally came. So I don't think it was so much him not seeing it and recognizing it. It was the frustration of all of these people, all of his people taking on these people who came for war, and they were there for a demonstration.
But here's the thing, Sybil. When the Black Lives Matter did their march, they had the National Guard, they had tanks, they had everything. And they knew that they would have at least 10 to 15,000 people at this Trump rally. And so they still said, we didn't think it would be necessary to have.
Because it was white people.
Yeah, because they're white people. And the Black Lives Matter was a peaceful rally. It was a peaceful rally.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway.
But I really like this police chief of DC, and I don't know
how he stars.
Yeah. The stars and Captain Stars and Bars, or Chief Stars and Bars. He's like, I saw and he reminded me so much of Yolanda, because we always have these ongoing discussions and headbutts about communication and what's the best way to communicate.
Right.
And to hold your camera steady.
I know. I'm trying to do that.
So So she's like, I'm texting with the young kids, and she's like, no, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And he said, when I saw the email come in, I knew that this wasn't something that I could just forward. This is something I needed to call people and let them know. And so he took it off of him and said, I saw it, and this is what I did to
Well,
forward it.
the higher up information is, and I can't think of the guy's name. It's one of the guys that Trump pardoned. His brother is in charge. I can't think of who he is. Um,
Um, uh, it's the military guy.
yeah, his brother is the guy that his brother was the guy that was in charge. That was the one that was the okay for the National Guard to go, and he said under no condition would we send the National Guards in because he didn't think it would be necessary.
And
But
that's what Sun said, because
that,
he
yeah,
said they didn't, and what he said was they didn't like the optics
yeah.
of having to bring the National Guard in,
But you
right?
brought the National Guard in on Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, but you don't like the optic. You like the optics of being in charge and the National Guard against Black people. But with white people,
It's nah,
that's
they're
so
not
much.
they're not going to tear up anything. But I've
No.
noticed from watching riots, Sybil, that when you see white riots and black riots, and white people just tear shit up. They do. They just have an attitude to go in there and as in blazing salad or whomping and a stomping, kicking the
Hmm.
living shit out of everything. And that's what they did when they went in there. And how you didn't know or how you didn't foresee that this would get out of hand, especially when they didn't have a permit to go to that part
Go to the
of DC.
Capitol. Yeah,
They didn't have a
yeah.
permit to
They
go to the
had
Capitol.
they had the permit for
Right.
where the initial speeches were held.
Yeah.
But as far as the Capitol, that wasn't
That was
done.
not where they were supposed to go. And
Uh,
the minute you had to be watching Trump on television and say, we're going to the Capitol. I mean, at what point do you take
Somebody
action?
gonna go, oh
Yeah, oh
shoot.
shit, we need to get somebody down here. Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Oh golly, we're
Yes.
we're we're in big trouble now. So tomorrow they will talk to terrorism experts, and they'll talk about this with the House committee, and I think it's a House committee, and then they have a third day of hearings. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of
Have
these hearings.
Have you been watching the hearings with the guy who
I
looks like
saw,
Dr. Fauci? Have you seen
yeah, the Attorney General nominee, Judge
Judge
Merrick
Merrick Garland?
Garland.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I
I
kind of get the feeling, Sybil, that they really, oh my God, they really want Trump to be accountable for this. They would
mhm.
like for Garland to go in and get him and whoever else they can get and arrest him, but they're not going to do it, and they don't want to have any say so in terms of being the ones that are connected with it with rounding up the people. As long as somebody else does it, it's okay.
Hmm.
It was surprised to see Ted Cruz with his questions today. It was
So I
like,
didn't see Ted Cruz. So what were his questions
well, he was.
today?
It seemed like the Republicans want to blame somebody, but
Right.
they don't want to say who's to blame. That's
Hmm.
what I kind of get from watching the hearings.
Does
It's
Ted
that
Cruz really want to blame? Does he really want to blame the other guy
Donald
that was
Trump?
just there?
No, he would
Yeah,
never do that. He would
yeah.
never say it was Trump's fault. It was amazing how they kind of brought up Black Lives Matter
Uh-huh.
today a lot, and it's just like
Yeah,
I
they did
said.
yesterday too.
Yeah.
Um, but what really impressed me, and this is something that we have gotten away from, Jay,
Hmm.
and that is the relationship, the partnership, if you will, between the Jewish and the Black communities, between Black folks and Jewish folks.
Right.
And he talked about that yesterday. I don't know if he did today, because like I said, I was back and forth because I was trying to watch and update on this January 6th stuff and that hearing. But
I I think I think he'll be. I think he'll get the okay and get the job. It's amazing
oh, I
how
do
these
too.
other people that he want to nominate it, they seem to be having trouble, and I don't know why. I really
Yeah.
don't know why. Especially
I think
this
they're
lady.
looking for excuse. Yeah,
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 this lady. I can't
and
think of her name right now. Who they seem to have a problem with. Yeah, but
right. This is This is just an interesting time, Jay, in terms of this and using this woman's tweets to come back at her, and because they thought that she was too extreme, and especially in talking about Republicans. And the very first person to say that he would not be voting for her is the very moderate Democrat. He's so moderate. He's dancing with the Republicans. Okay, that's how close he is to the Republicans.
I can't think of his name.
Joe
Manchin.
Manchin,
Yeah, Joe Manchin, right.
from West Virginia, and he's always one that I've been saying watch out for him, because he's more of a loose cannon in that one vote that you cannot really count on in the Democratic Party, as we are at that 50-50 split.
But it's
right?
just a shame that all Biden needs is one vote, one Republican. You know, he needed 17 votes and he can't get it. He just cannot get it.
He got 10. He got 10 right,
right.
Or he got 6 or 7, and he needed 10 more for the indictment of Donald Trump. But in this case, it just needs to be 51-50, and of course with the vice president, and needs. But I think a couple of other people, like Mitt Romney, has said he's not going to vote for this woman, and so it's going to be interesting. But what I was saying about Attorney General nominee is that we're going back, or he's going back to a time that Black folks and white folks and Jewish folks really worked together, like in creating the NAACP and other organizations. And he talked about the level of discrimination that his family suffered from when they came to this country, and wanted to go back in working to fight against the civil unrest, the racial discrimination that goes on, and saying that his civil rights division is going to be very busy.
Well, that's always been amazing, that a lot of people don't know how Jewish people and Black people have worked together in the beginning of the NAACP back in the day, and they worked hand in hand. And it's what a lot of people think it's just a totally Black organization, and it was never started like that. It was never financed by an all Black. It was started by Jewish people. And so the suffering that he was talking about when he was speaking, a lot of African Americans can relate to what he was saying. And it made a lot of sense.
And older people, especially, who recognize that.
Which I just hope he gets the okay, because it's ironic that he's the guy that wasn't, okay to be a judge, and now he's judging
a justice.
He's a justice, and he's going to be judging everybody. And some Republicans may go to jail or may get, censured because of what he's doing. And I think that's cool. That's 5 years too late, but it is what it is.
And I think that plays a part in some of their discussions with him, and the questions or the way that they kind of led the discussions and questioning, because some of those Republicans may feel some guilt. Maybe.
No. Guilty Republicans don't go together. And you know what else is going to be interesting? Sunday, Trump speaks at CPAC, and he owns that. He owns that
organization.
Party. And then with Bitch McConnell, not Bitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham as his wingman, it's gonna be, it's gonna really hurt. I was so glad when he told Nikki Haley that he wouldn't meet with her. That was just so damn funny.
And that's your governor in South Carolina, or former governor in South Carolina, right? Yeah.
Well, she criticized Trump, and then she tried to take her words back. And Trump has said it, that he's not going to meet with anybody that doesn't totally agree.
I'm not going to meet with anybody that doesn't like
Nikki Haley. It's funny that he wouldn't meet Nikki Haley, but he would meet Lindsey Graham.
He likes me better. Let's see. TYO Dimple said, Sybil, for what is that? For any who haven't yet read Cast. Oh my God, by Isabel Wilkerson.
Yes.
It's a great book and speaks to all of the issues we're dealing with.
It's a better listen too, Sybil. It's a better listen.
I am such a fan of hers, and one of the best interviews, I got to say, I ever did with an author was her last book, and it was just so dynamic. And I'm not finished with Cass, but I'm enjoying it. And she's dynamic, and you're absolutely right. Does speak
the other book I just listened to is I can't think of the name of it. It's the book that Martin Luther King carried with him all the time. Oh man, oh my God.
I don't know that. We'll
something the disenfranchised or something. You know what I'm talking about? You know?
No, but we can look it up.
We can look it up. Yes, Martin Luther King supposedly carried this book with him all the time.
Somebody's gonna text us and tell us. So.
I just listened to that too, and
that was a good listen.
What is it called?
I said I was asking you. That was a good listen.
Yeah, that was a very good listen.
So, Jay, that book has got to be what, 60 years, 70 years old?
It was a book that he carried with him, and I heard that he carried this book with him all the time, and so it was something that I wanted to read here.
A Bible?
It's not a Bible. No, it's not a Bible. He had a Bible with him.
Oh, they're talking about I think they're talking about Caste. The Warmth of Other Suns. That's the Isabel Wilkerson. That's
her other book.
That's her first. That was the first book that I remember reading.
She is an amazing writer, and not only the writing that she did, the research that she did to put this book together.
And that's why it takes so long for her to put these books out, because the research is amazing, and she's such a gifted writer. And it reminds me a lot of Skip Gates in their storytelling.
Yes, Skip. Have you seen that special that he did?
I did. I think part 2 tonight.
Yes. The distant.
What is that? Disinherited Jesus?
No, that's not the name of it. That's close. That's close. That's not the name of it.
But it's close.
It's close. Yes.
Real close.
Somebody's gonna come up with it, but it's not the disinherited. Yeah. Jesus and the Disinherited. That's it. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So they were close, but they don't win for the disinherited Jesus. You get nothing. You were wrong.
Jesus, you're not going to say Jesus was disinherited. Jesus was with the disinherited.
Jesus and the Disinherited. Yeah, that's the book that Martin Luther King. And I saw. I saw One Night in Miami too. So we're getting up.
Oh, what'd you think? What'd you think? I
mean, it was slow at the beginning. It was very slow in the beginning, and then it picked up, you know. And after that, it made me go see the Sam Cooke story, how amazing he was as a writer. Yeah, this guy he truly was amazing. Yeah, truly was amazing.
But I'm glad you brought that up, because that leads us to our second story in today's What You Need to Know.
We've only done one story. Wow.
Well, no, we did a number of stories for the newsletter. This is the deathbed confessions of the former.
I heard that, Sybil. I heard that today when you did that story, and I'm like, nah.
No, you're not buying it?
I'm not buying it. I do buy that the security was pulled off of Malcolm X, but I'm not saying who I thought killed Malcolm X. Don't ask me who I think.
Okay, so for people who don't know, of course, we just had the and I don't like the word of anniversary, because it sounds too much like a celebration, but the observance of the assassination of Malcolm X. A letter written by a former undercover policeman, New York police officer, alleges that the agency, along with the FBI, were responsible for his assassination. In a letter dated January 25th of 2011, Ray Wood, the Black man who worked for the NYPD, says that he participated in actions that in hindsight were deplorable and detrimental to the advancement of my own Black people. He says he was hired by the police department, NYPD, in 1964 to infiltrate civil rights organizations in search of criminal activity that would lead to the arrest of leaders by the FBI. So as this undercover officer, he was assigned to help carry out plans to arrest 2 of Malcolm X's primary security detail members in a plot to bomb the Statue of Liberty days before the assassination. And on the 16th of February, they reported that the plot involved 3 members of a Black terrorist group and a Canadian woman. And so he was killed at the Audubon Ballroom in an event held by the Organization of African American Unity. And three members of the Nation of Islam were convicted of his murder.
Okay.
So
I believe that the FBI did pull the security. I do believe that part. But I don't believe those were the people who assassinated Martin Luther King. Malcolm X.
Right.
Yes.
But it says that three members of the Nation of Islam were convicted of his murder. Do you think that they were not involved?
No, I'm not saying who. I don't really want to answer. I don't want to. I have to travel about the country. So.
Right. And you still like a good bean pie. Mr. Wood was on his deathbed.
Yeah.
He wrote the letter to his cousin, or he was very sick.
That part I believe, Sybil. Yeah.
And so his cousin wrote the book and gave from this confession. And he died last year in November. And he wrote the book, The Ray Wood Story, that's just been published.
Well, we all know. A lot of people know that Malcolm X was getting ready to split from the Nation of Islam and start his own sect or organization. Yeah, he was going to start his own, and then right after that, very shortly after that, and he had already confronted Elijah Muhammad about some of the things that he was doing in the Nation of Islam, and shortly after that, he was assassinated. So and there were three people on the Nation of Islam, and it showed in Night in Miami how Muhammad Ali didn't really side with him. He stayed with the nation, which was his choice to do.
That was, and I thought Regina did a great job.
She did an excellent job.
It was based on a play, but it was really good, and a lot of supposition about what actually happened in that room amongst four, friends. But historically, painting that picture of where the men were coming from at that time, and what brought them there, their own paths there.
And it's amazing now when you watch that movie. Each one of them that particular night was discussing the cross that they had to bear to change from where they were to go in a different direction. Jim Brown left football and went into movies. He got killed in a lot of his movies, but he was in the movie.
But Jay, you know what? I thought about you with the Jim Brown section when he went to, when the old white man called him to his house.
Yes,
right?
Wasn't that? You know I can't let niggas in the house. I'm like, oh my God. But I don't know. I think every black person, a lot of black people have had that moment where somebody you think won't call you a nigger, and then they call you a nigger, and it is a rude awakening. It is, because you wouldn't think they would think like that. It happened to me with a friend of mine named Grant Turner. I will never forget when he said it. We were upstairs. We were all comedians. We all started together. He works in Myrtle Beach, and he just as a joke he said it. I'm upstairs, and he said, "I didn't know you let niggers upstairs." And I was like, you always had that.
That's why I thought about you.
You go, damn, not you, man. Oh man, and that's what Jim Brown went to when he thought he was accepted. He thought this guy was his friend. And I think a lot of people have had that awakening moment when you get called that, or the person you think wouldn't say it and they say it, and you be like, damn, not you, man.
That was with him. That was with Muhammad Ali when they were talking about, the conglomerate of people that were supporting him, and how he could do with his money what he wanted, but they were uncomfortable with his relationship with Malcolm X and this other, this black man, and so there was so much there. But I thought about you and your friend when you told me that story.
Man, it was a true awakening, and it was so weird to see Jim Brown when he was on the set saying that he was going to leave football. He is on this. They made it look like the set of The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
And he got killed in that movie too.
Let's see, Eartha. Daniel says that the documentary "Who Killed Malcolm X" is on Netflix and sheds a different light on this on his death. So
I think
thank
I'll
you.
watch that.
We just lost you again. You back? Okay. So you said what
I'm
now,
back.
Jay? About
Yeah.
it?
I'm going to watch that because I want to have a different outlook on that. What I've seen is from the movie Malcolm X, and I read I've seen some other Malcolm X documentaries, and it'd be interesting to see if they went into the Nation of Islam in terms of accusing them. And I don't know if it was the Nation of
When does he drop out like that? I don't know.
bad area. I'm in a very
Oh,
bad area.
you're in a
Yeah.
bad area. Okay.
Very bad. Actually, I'm in Atlanta looking for a house, so that's what I'm doing. I'm moving.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah,
we hadn't discussed it here, but that's
the
you
big
are
move,
you.
huh? Yeah,
It's a major move across the country.
it is a major move. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
working for Mr.
you have
Perry,
tallied.
I'll be
You have.
working
Go
I'll
ahead.
be working
You
for
work.
Mr. Perry, so I think I'll be closer to that. So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And
Mr.
so does
Perry,
that mean?
not Tyler,
Oh no, no,
not
Mr.
Tyler,
Pick.
Mr. Perry. Yes.
How does it feel though? I mean, because you've spent lots of time there. I'm just wondering,
Oh,
do
it's
you
I was
do you
always
feel the
deciding that where I wanted to retire, and I really wanted to retire someplace I'd never lived before, like
mm,
maybe New York, or I hear Stevie Wonder's moving to. Have you heard Steve? The jokes just came out when I heard that. Stevie Wonder's moving to Africa, and
yes.
we're here, Mr. Wonder. We made it. You're
Yeah,
you're in
and
Africa.
he can't even tell. He's
You
tickling
you
himself.
you. Wow, that was such a short trip. I know. We just got there real fast.
It's that supersonic plane, and
It's like
it feels like
we're on the fastest plane ever. So it was that 30 minutes. I know, I know, but we're here. We made it. We made it to Africa.
not naming any cities that it looks or
Nah,
feels like.
is that the Lion King I hear? Yes, they play it. They play it constantly.
Hakuna
They play it all
Matata,
night.
Stevie. So Jay, last night, did you
I got one more
see?
joke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let's hope he dresses better in Africa than he does here. Okay. Okay, I'm
I
done.
told you,
I'm
but
done.
no, you
I'm
just
done.
wanted to.
I'm finished.
They come in threes, and usually, if you, you just want to make that quick exit after number two. But
All
no,
right, I'm done. I won't do any more. No more. No more.
until what? Another 30
I won't
seconds. You
do
just
any more.
thought,
I won't do any more.
okay.
I'm done. I'm done.
We love all of your jokes.
Yeah.
And I've
I'm done.
learned not to kill the
Yes.
joke.
Wasn't there rolling off the thing there. All right, what's next? I'm ready, Sybil. What you got next? What's next?
I was just wondering, on a serious tip, talking about the 500,000
Wasn't
people.
that a great ceremony that
It was beautiful.
Biden and his wife and all of his people put together? I mean, that was
And the
just
vice
so
president
needed.
and her husband, yeah,
So
yeah.
needed for
So it
people
was
to,
beautiful. The whole thing was
oh
put
my
together.
God,
But the way this man speaks from experience and speaks from
ooh,
his heart is really powerful. I mean, and when he gave that visual to us,
the closet, about the closet.
opening up the closet of your loved one, and those memories come flooding back as you might smell the cologne or perfume
Oh
or
my God,
um,
Sybil, that
you know,
was when he said that, it made me think of my bless her heart. My mom, not only did she wear white diamond, she wore white. I mean, She didn't just put a little bit on. She put white diamond on. I mean,
She lived in the
she
white
like
diamond.
soaked in it. And when she passed away, there was a small bottle of white diamond, and I had it. I don't know what happened to it, and I kept it. And when he did that part about you smell the smells, or that brings back the memories. And so now I'm at the point where it's not a grieving point for me anymore that my mom is no longer here. It's I constantly think about the fun things that the good times that we had together, and but it takes a long time to get there.
Oh
A
yeah,
really long time to get there,
sure.
right?
Yeah. I remember as he said that, and I was just having a discussion with someone the night before and saying, does this, in discussing her situation, and she said, does this make you love your mother even more? Well,
Oh yeah,
I couldn't
yeah,
possibly love her any more than I do today. I don't think. But just loving the memories and the good
yeah.
times. I'm getting a lot of calls from older friends of my mom that are still living,
Uh-huh.
or family members, and saying that they saw me or whatever, and how much I look like my mom or my mannerisms are like my mom's. I don't know if you get that, especially with that hat you're wearing
Yeah,
today.
well, you look like Annie Lee. Well, my mom wore a turban all the time, so
Right.
this might, but she didn't just wear one turban. She had several turbans that were
Right.
kept by the door on a styrofoam head, and so
Right. Right. And Jay said that when the
she kept
doorbell rang,
the one that was ready by the styrofoam head, and then she had a drawer full of them. Some had that diamond in the front,
and then
that was
like
a
Nick
going to
Cannon would
church
wear.
one. Yes, yes, yes. She was
Yeah.
so funny, and so now I have all of those memories
And the turban.
I don't in the turban, and I don't know if I've ever told you the story about my mom and the cordless phone. I think I told that story.
Oh, we told that last week.
Oh, we did it last week. Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. My
Yeah,
mom was
yeah.
she was just, she was just funny without
Hey,
being
tell it.
funny.
I mean,
I was
tell it
always.
again. People may not have been here to hear the story.
Well,
Because
I bought my mom a cordless phone. Remember the cordless phone where you pull the the thing up
antenna.
and you had to talk the antenna on it, and she was very impressed by this phone, and she said to me, and I think I was smoking weed at the time. The other thing about my mom,
All his stories begin.
my mom my mom thought incense was weed, and I couldn't
Right,
burn incense in the
right.
house because she thought it was marijuana, and I'm like, okay, well, there's not marijuana, trust me. Nobody gonna roll a joint this long, nobody. Okay. Anyway, so I bought her a cordless phone, and she was so impressed with the phone, and she said to me while I was high, she said, "Do you think if I take this phone to the mall, I can call myself a cab?" And so I said real quick, uh,
You
not unless you take that bottom part with you. And
said, hold on a minute.
she was so funny. But I had two
Oh,
moms. See, I had two moms. I had the not saved mom and then the got saved mom. So
uh-huh.
I had two different moms, and I
And
love them
Damon
both.
talked about that too.
Who?
Damon Williams would talk about that too.
Oh, he
The
had two
not,
moms or two
yeah,
dads.
yeah, two moms. The
Yes.
not saved and then the got saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The got saved mom. And it's weird because the saved mom don't remember shit that the not saved mom did. Yeah, that
Right,
never happened.
right, right.
I never cursed you. I never beat you. I never none of that stuff. It didn't happen. So I love both of them. I really love both of them.
And a lot of them just got saved by grandparenthood. And
Yes.
so when you when you would tell them, well, why treating my kids like, and you treated me like, I never,
Yes.
that's a lie. I
Everybody
never.
who met my mom was like, she is the sweetest person. She is so nice. But it reminds me of that time when you and Tom and Mara J we were on the road somewhere, and I
Mhm.
told you that to go see my mom, and it was an hour away. Remember?
Right. Yeah, we were like in Charlotte or something. Yeah.
And it was like it ended up, and we're in one of those a Hummer. You guys were in a Hummer,
Oh,
which
it's
is the
awful.
roughest ride
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
like Tom was like, how far your mom lives? And like it was like 2 hours or something like that, maybe 3.
Yeah, it was like from Charlotte. It was from Charlotte to Columbia,
Yeah,
something like that.
sweet lady.
And we, Jay, somebody is asking about. I'm assuming when they say about the coat, I'm assuming they're talking about your sister's coat.
I wore my sister's coat to school.
With the Peter
because
Pan collar,
but
ladies and
the
gentlemen.
button-up collar, yes. But I did. I refused to carry the little hand thing, the muff. I wouldn't do that. I refused to do that.
But you had to wear your sister's coat.
I had to wear the
school.
coat with the fur collar and the fur sleeves because that's the only coat I had. But when my mom got older, I did a lot of things to get back at her. When I worked for Arsenio Hall, we weren't allowed to talk to the stars who will be on the show, but you could get a picture.
Right.
You know, you could get a picture of Charlie Wilson or whoever the star was. And so I would sign all these pictures to Annie Lee Brown, Charlie Wilson, or whoever the star was. And she had a wall full of them, right? A wall. And to this day, she has no idea.
She never knew
that I signed them. She was so happy. It made her. She was elated. Yeah, that's
elated. And that's how you got back at her for having to wear your sister's
Clinton, son.
Clinton, right? President Clinton. But you're having to wear that little velvet coat with the collar and the muff and all of that. Yes. That accounts for so much.
Yeah.
But Jay, you were quite the child. And
I am. Well, I was raised as a single child with a sister, so that's a whole another. it's a whole. Sybil, I don't have to explain to you how my life was. My sister stayed with my grandmother, and I struggled with my mother. Right. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Jace, let's see. Kunta Shucky Brown. Somebody is asking for.
I have something better than Kunta Shucky Brown. Can I send it to you and you'll read it? You think we can do it today?
I was hoping to do it during Black History Month, but this is
this is Black History Month right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a way to send it to you. What it is?
Can you text it?
It's a letter. I found this through like doing research. It's a letter from a runaway slave or a freed man, and he writes this letter back to all the other slaves. So I'm gonna go out, and then I'm gonna send you the letter. It's so touching. It'll bring a tear to your eye.
For people who don't know who Kunta Shucky Brown is, let's give them a little background, because Jay had this thought that for all of the horrific conditions that Black folks lived in, the coloreds and the slaves and what have you lived, there had to be one jokey guy, one comedian,
one jokey slave,
one who was there, to entertain the people in the field,
to keep laughter going,
the levity, not to take them down to this horrific level.
I mean, the master liked him, the slaves liked him.
Yeah. And Jay would go back into the person of it. It would, bring this person back.
I'd have to go into myself to channel. And I'm telling you, I've smoked so much weed, I can't remember one joke Kunta Shucky Brown, but I do know this.
He had a line. Yeah. Do you remember the line?
He had a tour where he went from all of the plantations, and it was the Is This Chain On tour. And So what I want to do is I'm going to go out, send you the letter, and then I want you to read it. I'll be right back. All right.
So let me just give you a little bit more background on Kunta Shucky Brown, because he would he went on the is this chain on tour, as Jay just said. And Jay would come and then Kunta would come on stage, and it was the Hawaii. Welcome to the Is This Chain On? And so he did all of these really bad jokes. I mean, they were so offensive. They were so politically incorrect. And the people who owned the radio stations that we were on all complained to Tom and the management of Reach Media. And so ultimately, then it became, we can't do this on a regular basis. So we would wait till the last day of Black History Month, or whatever the last day was, or if it was a Friday, do it so that, you could do it and say, okay, it's done. But it came to be so offensive that he stopped doing it.
A lot, and this was before you could text, so it was emails
and protesting. They were writing real letters and protesting about how offensive this was.
All right, I just sent you a letter from a runaway slave, and I would like you to read it.
Did you email it?
Yeah, I emailed it to Sybil Lou, so you should see it.
Okay. Yeah, that's how he emails.
Yeah, you see it?
I should have asked you to mail it to Yolanda.
Mail it to her? Email it to her?
Yeah, it's a slow roll with my phone, but I'll keep looking.
Okay, got you.
Okay. So Jay, was I wrong? It was the Hawaii.
How are you? Is this chain on? Kunta Brown. Yeah, and I would channel and through maybe next Black History Month I'll have it, because when I come back next week, Black History Month will be over with.
It'll be Black History.
It'll just be yeah. You still didn't get it?
No, I didn't get it.
Oh man.
Send it to Yolanda. Can you do that?
Okay.
To Yoga Lou. So this is how we would, and Tom loved it, and of course, when you make Tom laugh, the comedians are just they're in heaven. And then others like Mary Boyce, and they would all get together. Sometimes they just had the punchline. So, but it was quite the time to hear the people who complained. Oh my gosh! I mean,
it's there now. You should have it. You should have it now.
Okay.
Boom. There it is. Boom. It's there.
Okay.
You got it?
Okay.
Can I set this up? Let me set this up.
I was just going to read the title. Okay.
I found this from going to flea markets and stuff like that, and there's a lot of archives, and I found this letter from a runaway slave / freedman that he wrote back to the slave. Yes, so there you go. Run it, Sybil. Here we go.
Dear y'all, if you got this letter, I made it. Now, if the person who opens this letter can't read, give it to someone who can.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
First of all, I told y'all to come on, but no, y'all wanted to stay.
Love it.
Trust me, it wasn't easy, but it's such a good feeling not to wake up in the morning and have to pick a damn thing. It's not easy getting up here. Miss Tubman don't play. She had to pull her gun out and pistol whip John Henry when he started crying and he wanted to go back. After the swelling went down, he changed his mind. She passed out a couple of times, but when she came to, she made up for it. Just in case she comes back for a second run to get some of y'all, do not use the phrase, when we gonna get there. That seems to upset her a lot.
A lot, right.
One thing I found out about running away, the females are real friendly at night when it's cold. Upon my arrival to the new city, we met some uppity blacks, asking if they had never picked cotton. I was like, y'all ain't been free for 12 minutes. SP. That's short for slaves, please. I get a feeling that's going to change someday. I also met Frederick Douglass. I don't know what's up with his hair either. Check this out. He's dating a white woman. He introduced me to her sister. Yes, I've crossed over. Well, so much for talking. I'll holler at y'all later. Did they holler? P.S. That's what you put in a letter when you got more to say. Give my shoes to the Williams brothers since they both have only one foot. Miss Tubman asked me if I wanted to come back for a second run. I said, hell no.
Hell no. Okay, that's very touchy. That's touchy.
Very. Yeah, I don't. How much did you pay for that letter, Jay? That's really
thousands. I paid.
Yeah.
I paid thousands of dollars for that.
And it said sent from my iPhone. J. Anthony Brown, I received my hotter than a mofo hot sauce yesterday. Love the packaging. It comes in a canister that looks like a stick of dynamite.
Yes, it do.
Clever marketing idea, Jay. Ooh.
Yes. My whole operation is moving to Atlanta. So when I move it
Does
to
your
Atlanta,
operation know this?
yeah, they know. Everybody knows. Yeah, we'll just move it to Atlanta. Yeah, I'm moving
And
it.
Jay, what about your business in terms of a comedy club? Will you think you'll do that?
I'm going to close the club, Sybil. I tried to keep it, but what happened? What had happened was I can't get the landlord to come down on the rent, and then in LA you can't open. So I'm paying rent for a place that I can't open. I did get money from Metro. Metro is giving out money, but it's not enough to sustain the business. However, I will keep my liquor license and give it to my nephew, and he'll see what he can do with it. I had a nice run, 11 years. So, hey.
That's a great run.
Yeah. Had a great run, right.
11 years altogether?
Longer than I was married.
To any of their wives?
Put them all together. I slept...
He still had a longer and more successful run with the club.
And had more fun with the club. Yes.
Okay, Myra is... Where am I reading glasses? Yeah. You're right, Myra. Where are my reading glasses?
Yes, you have to do it. It's so funny when we see Red Fox go through all those glasses, and we thought that was the funniest thing. Now it's us.
Yeah. Jay, I'm going to close out with Yogi's Jewels, the daily inspiration. After that inspiring letter,
I know what it is.
Okay.
Give me the first part of it. I remember it.
Say
something nice, or don't say anything at all. Something like that.
No.
What is it?
Say what you mean and mean
what you say. Yes. I was going to say that next.
And that apparently has such great meaning to a member of our staff. She tried to make it the same saying for tomorrow too. So
no, that's not fair. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that.
Say what you mean and mean
what you say.
Right. That's right.
Yes.
And you mean to tell us that you're leaving Los Angeles and
I'm leaving Los Angeles, moving to the ATL, as I call it, the HTL. Hey, I'll be down there. So
okay, well, I can't wait to come down and see you in the adjoining penthouse apartment to George Holland.
Don't tell George I'm moving down there, please. Do not tell him.
He's watching.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he is watching. Yeah, he's watching. Yeah.
Jay, give people information on how to get all your products, like the lady said with the nice.
hotterthanamofo.com to order my hot sauce. We have a giveaway. We're giving away all 4 of the hot sauce. You get an apron, you get nuts, you get a book, church announcements, you get a fan. I'm also throwing a broke watch, a watch that looks nice, but it don't work. And all you got to do is go to hotinthemofo.com to register to get that big, and it's almost everything's worth about $100. So go to hotinthemofo.com to register, and go there if you want to buy some hot sauce. Listen to I did Clubhouse, Sybil. I did Clubhouse.
Oh, you did. Oh, so you told me you were going to redo it and have a conversation.
It was pretty good.
Fun?
Yeah, most of the people wanted to talk about comedy. I was trying to talk about my internet business, so it was nice.
And your artwork.
The artwork is Artists of Soul, and my iHeartRadio show, and here every Tuesday.
iHeartRadio show
on time, and I was on time today. Yeah.
And Jay, just want people to remember that you will be here on Tuesday and on time, and we will see you next week. And good luck with the apartment hunting or house hunting.
House. I'm gonna get a house. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get a house.
Okay. All right. Right next to George.
Okay. George lives in an apartment.
George is a real estate mogul.
Yeah, he's a real estate mogul, right? He has several places. He does have a house there. Yeah, if you guys text me, I'll tell you where he lives.
Before I get out of here, I want you all to take a look at this and check out our information on the Black ALZ brain study. Check it out. See you tomorrow.
Bye, Sybil.
He can tell you about their first dance, but he can't remember my name. I'm his daughter.
Half of all black families are impacted by Alzheimer's, but we don't know why. At HSC, we are investing in a new research study to find solutions for your family. To join the research study, visit blackalzbrainstudy.com or call 817-735-2963.